Hey, welcome. I'm Tim, the Suburban Dad, and today I'm going to review a very special bottle and talk to you about what it means for a bottle to be bottled in bond. This is going to be my first unicorn bottle review. H. Taylor Small Batch. Let's dive in. So the Bottled in Bond Act happened in 1897, and one of the main reasons why I chose this bottle today is for two reasons. It's bottled in bond, and it's the namesake of Colonel Edmund Haynes Taylor Jr., who was a politician at the time, 1897. He was a big proponent of this act to happen. And so what is the Bottled in Bond Act and why does it matter? Well, you're going to see a decent number of bottles today that are labeled bottled in bond. So what does that mean? Back in that time, there was a lot of hanky-panky going on with whiskey and bourbon. They were adding all kinds of additives, chemicals, dyes, things like caramel color, wood chips, even formaldehyde, to try and achieve a certain look or a certain taste with the bourbon or the whiskey back then. And it was getting out of control, and it was hard to distinguish between reputable bourbon bottles and not so reputable. The Bottled in Bond Act helped to regulate all that. So for a bottle to be bottled in bond, it has to be from one distiller, the same distillery from one season. It has to be aged at least 4 years. It has to be exactly 100 proof, in other words, 50% alcohol. And you can only cut it with water. You cannot add any other substance to it. And on top of that, it has to be aged in a bonded warehouse. So all this to ensure quality of a good bottle. So today, you can get several different, there's a number of bottles that are bonded these days. This is one of the most famous ones, I would say, simply because it is named after Colonel E.H. Taylor. And it's an allocated bottle. It's very tasty. And it is kind of hard to get depending on where you are. Around here in Missouri, it is very difficult to get, and even more difficult to get at a reasonable price. It retails for around $40, $45. I've seen it as high as $100+ on the shelf. So as you can see, a very interesting bottle. There's all kinds of artwork and a lot of words on here. A lot of it is just to look cool and brag about how good the bottle is. But it truly is a good pour. So let's go ahead and open this bad boy. So here it is. And you can see it's got this nice, good coloration to it. Let's go ahead and do a pour. By the way, wife got me a belated Valentine's Day gift. Check out this glass. How cool is that? So it makes the bourbon taste even better. So, bottled in bond can only be cut with water. It makes me think of when I prepare a glass of juice for my son, and to prevent him from going totally crazy, bouncing off the walls, I dilute his juice with water. He doesn't really realize that, but his juice is about 80, 90 proof at best. All right. On the nose, let's see. Okay, so it's got a little hint of fruitiness to it. It's got more of a wood smell, like an oaky smell in a good way. A little on the dry side. It's not super sweet smelling. It's not super fruity. Just a little hint there. Let's go ahead and have a taste. So this is a bottle that I wasn't super thrilled with at first, I'll be quite honest. The more that I've poured it, the better it's gotten. Sometimes that happens. People talk about letting a bottle breathe. I must say that I've encountered some truth to that. The further down you get in the bottle, it can seem to taste differently. Why? I don't know. People talk about the bourbon getting oxidized. Again, I'm no chemist. I'm not sure. I just know that this one has gotten better by the pour. It's a fairly smooth bourbon. It is pretty smooth. It's got a little bit of caramel and vanilla to it. Everybody talks about this bottle having a peanut flavor to it. I can't say that I get that distinct peanut flavor. It tastes very much like it smells, a lot of oak flavor, woodish flavor. It doesn't have a whole lot of spice to it. It is more of an even keel, more mellow taste. There's other bottled in bond bourbons that I've had that are a little bit more all over the place in terms of flavor. This is more even keeled, like I said. It is definitely a good pour. I'm trying to really pick out some more details for you guys. This is tougher than I thought. It's got more of almost like a bread or a not so sweet pastry quality to it. Again, I keep stressing it's not a very sweet bourbon, but it is very tasty. Scale of 1 to 10, I'd give it a 7.5, maybe 8. Okay, so I enjoy it. I would not pay exorbitant prices for it. I did pay a good amount for this bottle, but I would probably say, don't spend more than $60 on it, especially if you haven't tried it. Try it first if you can, and see what you think. But definitely don't kill yourself or kill yourself trying to find it or pay really exorbitant prices on it. There are other bottles that in the Colonel E.H. Taylor line. They have a single barrel, they have barrel proof, they have rye, they have some special releases. This is by far the most common, most talked about. Overall, a good pour. Like I talked about in my unicorns video, just because it's hyped up and highly sought after does not guarantee that it's going to be a out of the park home run delicious bottle. You might think it is, and good for you. It's not that way for me. I enjoy it, but it's not to die for. I had this with some peanut butter chocolate bars one night, and when I had the peanut butter, I did get more hints of peanut in this pour. So what you eat or what you drink in between sips of bourbon very much influences the flavors that you get from it. So just keep that in mind when you're sipping on a bottle. Maybe you really like it one time and then you don't like it the next time, or vice versa. Think about what you're eating along with it, and that can impact the taste a lot. So when you see bottled in bond, it doesn't necessarily mean as much today, since we have more regulations with bourbon and whiskey. But you can be sure that it's aged 4 years, that it's 100 proof. So that 100 proof mark, that's about one of my favorite levels. I like to go even higher than that, but 100 is a nice comfortable pour for me. So thanks for tuning in today. As always, if you enjoyed the video, please like it and subscribe to the channel so that you can be the first to see my newest and latest content. As always, cheers.